I think Dems should have laughed in his face while he was up there. And I can imagine why they didn't, at least one reason being that they were afraid that people would say that they're not taking this seriously enough, which is why I think that this is a conversation we have to have. I do post a lot of comedic and satirical content, and I do get people accusing me of not taking things seriously enough while ridiculing them or laughing at them. And the fact is, not only is it an important coping mechanism for a lot of us and a great way to deliver information, it's also the best way to take the wind out of someone's sails, especially a narcissist. But not only that, they quite literally feed off of our anger. I have people in my comments right now cheering on the economy crashing to own the libs. We often say that the cruelty is the point, but I think too many people are failing to realize that that means seeing the pain is the point. I'm not saying that you can't be angry or show that anger. You absolutely should. People need to see that we are angry. But visible anger cannot be our only tool, because that is what fuels them. Satire is one of the most protected forms of free speech in this country because it has additional protections. But the power of humor has been well documented and discussed at length. It's a big part of how they got this far. Whole thing quite literally started with memes and trolling. And as we know, humor is very useful in normalizing hate. But that's not because humor is inherently bad. It's because humor is a tool, and it's time for us to use that tool better. And to be clear, I'm not saying don't take them seriously, because that's the mistake people made back in like 2015. You can make fun of something while taking it very seriously. You can also not make fun of it and not take it seriously at all. Even humor has to be used strategically and appropriately. The left is better at humor, comedy, satire. We know that. But we're also very specific about like when we think it's appropriate, which is totally fair. I'm just saying that laughter itself can be a tool used in new arenas. Maybe there are more uses and times and places for laughter than we have traditionally considered. At the very least, it could have served as almost like a fact-checking red flag, like, hey, this is ridiculous. The reason he was trying to get a rise out of Dems all night is because he wanted them upset and looking sullen. There's a certain confirmation of power they get by laughing down at people, which is why he can't handle being laughed at. This whole thing started because Obama laughed at him. That's what got us here in the first place, guys. And I think part of the issue is now people are too afraid to trigger him. That just means he successfully made himself too scary to make fun of. I do think that a lot of the Dems do realize this. That's why a lot of them were like on their phones. Like Elizabeth Warren was just like chuckling to her phone at a couple moments, which I love. That's the energy, but like times 1,000. You know what I mean? I think we need to give them permission to laugh at them, to ridicule them, without us coming and accusing them of not taking it seriously. Does that make sense? Anyway, laugh at them. I promise you, they'll hate it.